and actively seeking human attention all of the time. So this is Dash, and if you want to know what a sloth's feet feel like, you can feel this one. He doesn't mind if you mess with his feet. They feel just like monkey feet.
Oh, he's like they're tickles. Aww.
She would snap at you if you. This one.
Huh. Oh, yeah, like, if you got feet like
monkey.
skin, yeah.
Yeah.
That's so sweet. I'm sorry.
And for your pictures, I don't mind that there's two sloths in the same picture. For ours,
Yeah.
you don't want that. And if you get the two of them close together, sitting next to each other, those Zoe don't want to shove him out of somebody's lap.
Don't cry, Layla.
Because she's like, no, I get all the attention. These are my people. They're not your people.
Oh, look at that little thing.
So these guys are all two-fingered sloths. Alive in the world today, there are two-fingered sloths and three-fingered sloths. Differences between them, as I just said, their hips and spines are set up differently. They are starting to call them two-fingered, three-fingered instead of two-toed, three-toed, because all sloths have three toes on the back feet. Two-fingered have two on the front, three-fingered have three on the front. We already talked about how they move differently because of the way their spines are set up differently. And the three-fingered are somewhat smaller and somewhat slower than a two-fingered sloth, but to describe a two-fingered sloth as quicker than anything, the only mammal you could possibly be talking about is a three-fingered sloth, because collectively they are the world's slowest mammals. Now, if you're reading online, it will tell you max speed for a sloth is 12 feet per minute. It could be that if they're talking about speed over distance, that would be true.
Yeah.
Here we don't find that to be true. When Flash comes from the very top corner of his, and we open the door and say, "Hey, Flash," and he comes scurrying right down in the morning,
yeah.
and through the door and out to where he does his encounters. Takes him about 30 seconds to come down.
Really?
And so that would have to be something more on the order of 40 feet per minute. But
I'm surprised it's that fast.
he's not taking off cross country that way.
No.
So who
Well,
knows?
he's probably thinking, oh, there's some food down
He's
there.
sweet.
So the Flash does get fed, that sloth does get fed during his encounter, but we interact with all of our animals on their terms. So if on a day he doesn't feel like having his encounter, he doesn't.
Oh.
And we just put his food in his dish. There's no harm or repercussion to the sloth. Basically, the only time he doesn't feel like it is if there's a lot of little kids up here that are up all night and keep him up all night.
Yeah.
Then, I don't know, what would you say, 5 or 6 mornings ever, he's not wanted to come down. And we never book 3 sloth encounters at the same time, and we have 3 sloths, so we'll just move to another sloth.
Yeah.
But there will be no repercussion to Flash for not wanting to play.
Yeah.
The same exact food that he would have got during his encounter goes in his dish.
Huh.
And Flash was not raised the way that these ones were raised. So these two were raised to be ambassador animals, meaning that from birth forward, they have been oriented to people. They start being held on day 12 of their life. Prior to day 12, they don't have their bacteria colony fully formed, so they don't mess with them until day 12.
12.
But after that, they're being held for 30 seconds and 45, then a minute, so on and so forth, until by the time the mother has weaned the baby of her own choice, the baby is being held by humans for 30, 45 minutes at a time, multiple times a day. And that is how we get these uber-friendly sloths that actively seek human attention, but still they get all the social nutritional benefit of being a mother-raised animal.
Yeah.
Because every time that they hold it, it goes straight back to the mother. The mothers are used to it, doesn't bother them, and therefore it doesn't stress the babies out.
That's good.
So the Flash was not raised the same way. He came to me from a breeder who breeds for zoos, just for static displays, like, you know, to be on the other side of that sheet of glass and there's a cool animal. So when he came here, he was not at all oriented to people. So his encounter that he does in the mornings was 2 years in the making. Because it took basically a year until he found that he would prefer to eat his food out of my hand instead of out of the dish. And you can make an animal eat from your hand, just don't feed him.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, that would make it an adversarial relationship, like you have what I need, I'm going to get it from you. And so our method of getting him eating from our hand was pick up a piece of food out of his dish, hand him his food out of his dish, and if he doesn't want it, back in the dish. So he's gonna get it whether he eats it from my hand or out of the dish. But it took about a year until he consistently always would rather eat from my hand than the dish. And then it took another number of months until he was perfectly happy eating from strangers' hands.
Oh wow.
But
2
even
years in the
so,
making.
yeah, 2 years. Yeah.
Wow.
Even so, he has never been held. So
Oh, no.
I am his person. He
Oh.
comes down, he rubs his hands through my hair, he gets nose to nose, lays his face against my face. He'll
Aw.
curl up shoulder to shoulder, but he's never made any move to move onto my body, and it's his choice, not mine.
Oh.
So, you know, I hope that one day he decides he would like to be held, but so far that hasn't happened.
Huh.
And I don't do anything to try to make him, you know,
Yeah.
like pick his hands up. And just, if he wants to get on me, he's right there. He could if he felt like it.
Yeah.
And so, you know. But these two are ambassador animals. So they were raised from birth to be people-oriented animals.
Mm-hmm.
When they come here, they come here about around 4 or 5 months after their mothers have weaned them of their own choice. And then they stay in the house until they're a year old, and they come down for encounters, and then they go right back to the house.
Hmm.
Are you okay?
Hello?
You want to turn?
She's looking better than okay.
Yeah, just making sure.
Wear a different sweatshirt in
2:30.
case it's got
It's fine.
poop or dirt on it.
Okay, our staff doesn't come back from lunch until 2 o'clock, so please come back closer to your encounter time. 2 will work, our staff is here. Yeah. And if you're looking for something to eat or drink in the meantime, there's Hardee's and McDonald's and deli at the grocery store, Food City. And Code Coffee Joint is right up the street from us if you want to grab a coffee.
It's like Dash knew that I moved over here for the
you
shop.
go
to the side
So,
away.
Oh, there he
No.
goes.
Oh, here
He's
you
coming
there
back.
we go.
I don't know which way you're facing, so I don't know if that would be left or right, but south.
I want like an arm suspended in some of the things just to be like
Yeah, so you're
move
right.
around.
Give it those boom.
The way you're facing right now, you would
I
go
went and
left.
met with a film production company. I showed them some stuff and they're like, we might buy her because they have like kids and everything.
Yeah, right.
Timed out. Step out and talk to these people.
Yep.
I don't know if they even have an encounter because they're like, so it's a zoo, right?
Oh, jeez. Just coming on in.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, we discovered that TikTok was not, we're actually really trying to toe all the lines because I brought my daughter to work today, the little blonde girl that was running around.
Oh, okay.
And we had been feeding sauce all morning and I turned it on and it immediately kicked me off. And I was like, what? And I looked and I was like, what is this? I was like, we've been doing the videos the past year.
Yeah.
So
Anybody under 13, it'll kick you off.
for lives.
For lives. Okay.
Yeah. And I can,
You know, I understand.
That's
Exactly.
fine.
With
Yep.
Some
I'm like-
weirdos are gonna do some weird things with
It-
that probably.
100%. So I'm like, you know what? I can kind of get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially bigger accounts, like you could make a lot of bad stuff happen fast. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't be mad at it. I
Think
just
it's
didn't know.
face.
Yeah. They need to fix the algorithm though, so it's not like pumping like smut and nasty
Yes.
stuff to like young boys and girls, and you know that's where the real problem is.
Right.
I'll print
So we don't
them
even
for you.
allow
Okay.
14-year-olds.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. Yeah. That's,
There's a whole ugly world out there that you don't need to see yet.
yeah.
They don't. And she always gives us grief about it. She doesn't have social media. I don't even have that.
I don't even get to look at my own, like, anymore. I'm like, nope, I haven't. I look back and people be like, oh, I was in Chattanooga for a week. Didn't know where you were. And I'm like, I'd never opened my stuff anymore.
Yeah. I never did Facebook. Never. And everybody went into it, and I'm like, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I got enough friends.
With your phone?
I lean over. She's got hers. I'm like, okay, I'm caught up.
Yeah.
Or I just
I'm
let 'em have
older,
it.
so my kids got cell
Oh,
phones.
sorry.
I got a
Yep.
driver's license. Before that, you know, you could talk on the house phone.
Right. Yeah.
Of course, now I live in the country and we don't even have a house phone.
Right. Who has house phones anymore, right?
Exactly.
There you go. You can print it and take it to school with you.
I remember
We're just
obviously
happy for
grew up-
Starlink now because when I
Yeah.
moved here,
You like
there was
her?
no internet at all.
That's what we're
that's
hooked up
great.
to.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, and
You like her wallpaper on her?
black.
Oh, okay.
That's her wallpaper on her phone now.
nice.
Sorry.
One of your little turtles or your tortoises.
You'll have to get a picture of one of the big ones and like mash them together somehow. Somebody that's better at it than me. But
Layla, you want to share?
the when we moved here, the only internet there was HughesNet or
Hughes, yeah, I've heard that.
Which is awful.
Viasat, which is internet of last resort. So my download rate would be 0.5 and my upload was 0.08.
Oh gosh.
And I moved here from where the Verizon Fios hub for 1,000 houses was in my front yard.
Oh jeez.
So I was my
Everything
desk
was
was
instant.
40 feet from the hub for all of the houses, so I could have any speed I wanted to pay for.
Right.
And then I moved here, and for the first 2 years, I never saw a pay-per-view movie because you hit order, and it would just spin until it said
jeez.
connection timed out, and I
Oh,
couldn't
wow.
even get the I'd like to buy it to go through.
You're like, take my
And if
money.
you read all text email, I mean all words, no pictures. If you click it, go get a cup of coffee, drink the cup of coffee, come back, and
You
maybe
might be able to
it'll
read
have
it.
Just
opened.
for all text.
Just
Wow.
for all text, and
Jeez.
I'm like, good night. I should push the keys with a buggy whip,
Right.
and it was horrible. So yeah, when
forget a picture of
Elon
that.
Musk came along, we were dancing in the streets out here.
Yep.
I
But
actually
we did just have to upgrade to the what do we have? 1 or 2 terabytes
2 or 3 terabytes now.
a month
Wow.
because with all the streaming, we go
Yeah.
through it, and I guess that it's a problem for Airbnbs these days that people can come and camp up and data mine.
Oh, really?
What
Well, you
is it-
could-
what's it called?
You could mine crypto,
Crypto
let
mine.
it sit there, let your hard drive, or I mean, but I carry a mobile one in my car too
Yeah.
that I use for hiking and different things.
Yeah, I guess people
You
bring
could
their
sit there all day,
computers
couldn't
and
you?
let it mine while you're on vacation, I guess, yeah.
I think somebody
I
wanted
wouldn't
to.
mind one coin.
Yeah. Hey,
I wouldn't mind one.
a cool 80,000 isn't
Yeah,
anything
right.
to sneeze at
Yeah.
about. I think somebody wanted to switch. Who was it?
Alina, you want that one?
Lena, which one you want?
Probably everybody.
Okay. So what we'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll pick her up, and then you're gonna sit right here in the middle.
Scooch over a bit.
So to get her to switch, we say to her, "Night night, Zoe," and then she's gonna reach for me.
Got it?
Come here, baby. Night night.
Aw,
Oh, good girl.
looks over.
Oh.
Good girl, Zoe.
Not letting go of Jillian.
We usually use the Snuggie that I didn't
He's like,
bring.
no.
Aw.
You got a friend there?
We have a Snuggie, and usually she moves to the Snuggie and then to a
Really?
different person. I may have to go get it.
Hi.
So for a sloth, clamp down is relaxed, so they have to focus to let go.
Oh, really?
So when they're hanging on you and they're like gripped on like this, that's relaxed. So for humans, if we were gonna do the
Just slow.
2-arm hang,
Slow.
this is our stress or exertion state.
Yeah.
This is our relaxed state.
Yeah.
So a minute is a long time to do a 2-arm hang. For a sloth, this is relaxed, this is exertion.
Huh.
So it is so true that they're exerting no energy at all to hold on to
It just locks
the
in.
branch,
Yeah.
that if they die, they won't necessarily fall.
Oh,
They
wow.
can continue to hang there dead for
Oh,
days
wow.
or weeks
Oh.
until something rotted or something knocked them loose.
Wow.
Because the sloth is completely designed to be an upside down animal.
Mm-hmm.
So like they eat the leaves at the ends of the branches because that's where the newest, freshest leaves are. The cellulose walls are less hard and dense and easier to chew, easier to digest. And from a really high level perspective, if there were going to be any toxins built up in the leaves, it would be the ones closer to the trunk before the ones at the end. So if you're going to eat the leaves on the end of a branch, you can't very well crawl out like this. You got to crawl out like that.
Yep.
And so there are a number of specific design adaptations for a sloth to be upside down. So like for us, if we were on an inversion table and got stuck after an hour, we would be running short of breath because for us, our guts are sitting in our pelvis and upper bounded by our diaphragm. And if you were upside down long enough, it would put back pressure on your diaphragm until it would get hard to breathe. For a sloth, they have 46 ribs, 23 sets of ribs, and they have connective tissue that goes all back and forth in between their organs and their ribs. That keeps their organs all exactly where they're supposed to be. because the sloth could for hours or days be hanging vertically upside down or horizontally upside down or sitting right side up or balled up right side up. They really can be just in any position at any time of day for any amount of time. So all of their things have to be held exactly where they're supposed to be. And of course, we also could swallow upside down, you know, peristalsis is what, you know, moves our food from the back of our neck to our stomach. But for a sloth, they also have like a check valve arrangement in the top of their stomach, so it's one way only, so that the food doesn't leak back up when they're upside down long term. Their esophagus goes down all the way around their stomach and then dumps in. So there's a loop in their esophagus, but it is at the top of the stomach, it does become a one-way arrangement.
Do you want to hold Dash?
Sure.
If you have something that's like a little bit different color, because when he's laying on you, I mean, I don't really care, but if you want people to be able to see him, if you have something of a different color.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Light color, yeah.
Yeah. Like bright.
Smelling, they're listening, they're experiencing their environment by their primary senses. So like, see, she's sitting there and her eyes are lightly closed, but I promise you that sloth is wide awake.
Huh.
And if you, let me see, I forgot their name.
Layla.
This one's
Layla.
Layla, that one's Elena.
Elena. All right, same letters, different. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, that's kind of a mistake. You
Elena,
get mad and
if
yell
you-
at them, it goes together real
say
fast.
that.
So it's kind of a mistake, because if you yell at them together, it goes together real fast.
It sounds like you're speaking Hawaiian.
Yeah.
All vowels, L's, H's, and N's. W's,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
But if you hum a little bit, and you're like, she'll like smash her ear into your neck and
Good.
feel the way your voice feels.
Hum.
Maybe not.
Mhm.
So they do have ears. If you feel under their hair, their ears are right there.
Look at that cutie. See him sniffing. Is that a boy or girl? What's Dash?
Boy,
Boy?
girl.
Boy, girl? Okay.
Zoe is
You see his
15
nose,
months
like,
old.
moving. Oh yeah, let me get a picture of you.
Zoe is 15 months old. She is nearing her full adult mass, but nowhere near her adult maturity. You saw the teeth on the sloth in the picture, and you've seen Flash's teeth in there. Her teeth are, you know, still small like that. You see Dash's teeth, his teeth are tiny like that. You've seen Flash's claws on the other side of the glass right there. You see Zoe's claws are much, much smaller than Flash's, and Dash's are smaller than Zoe's. You see Flash's hair looks to be maybe about 4 inches long. Zoe's is maybe 1.5 inches. Dash still just has his baby coat.
Oh.
So those little silvery hairs that are just starting to peek through his coat a little bit there, they really won't come all the way through his coat until he's around 10 months old. But so it looks like this sloth will reach its mass. I mean, Zoe, I would say, is very nearly her full adult mass, but they won't reach their maturity until they're 3.5 years old, somewhere in there.
I'm very jealous that you get to sit and watch TV like this. Just
Yeah,
figure out
I
what's
almost
wrong.
never watch TV, but if I do, I'm with a sloth. And they sit for family games, they sit for dinner.
Aw.
Before I had that one, I didn't know that a sloth could be playful. But the main game in the house is Settlers of Catan, and she'll be reaching back behind herself like this, trying to grab the pieces off of the table. And
Yeah.
you can't play cards holding that one, 'cause she'll take the cards out of your hand and bite them. And,
Oh, that's funny.
You are so sweet.
That is so cute.
Isn't he so
You said Zoe's only 15 months?
yeah,
So sweet.
She
You know
looks,
how
looks more
old,
mature.
Flash is?
6 years. He's been here for 4 years. I got Flash before this